share the screen for everyone so we can get the ball rolling.
So just very quickly, everybody, this is our last scheduled session with you, and I looked after you with the first couple I recall, and today we have Dennis with one of your hardcore BDM topics, we would put it. I think, Dennis, we recently trained in Phoenix, didn't we? With a group there with our 2-day masterclass. Just a heads up as well, everybody, that we've just booked a 1-day in Phoenix again for October on 19th, which is the day after NAPM National finishes. So we are making ourselves available, very close proximity to the event centre where NAPM National is, for a 1-day growth. Dennis will be covering growth strategies. I'll be covering fee scripts, and Michael, our third person, he'll be looking after us with property marketing stuff. So have a look out for that. But Dennis, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. And for the group, I'm happy, Darren, to offer anyone here, the members rate that we've got as a thank you token as well. They've obviously, so if anyone is interested from Key Renter, we'd be happy to send out a code that they'd get, a 20% discount for that too.
So what we'll do, Aaron, we'll just hand the information over to you, and you can get that out to your members. That'll be fine.
Excellent. We can certainly do that.
Yeah, excellent. Okay.
And appreciate that.
No problem at all. We appreciate you getting us up at 1 o'clock in the morning so we can just work.
Hey, no problem.
Oh, look, we love it. We do it. Last week I was up at 4:30 doing a recording as well. So this is our job. So we're fine about it. So if it's not us in front of a computer, we're on an airplane at this time of the day anyway. So it's all good. Excellent. So this session is, I really do enjoy doing this session on how to grow. It's basically about how to grow your business, whether it's BDM strategies, but this is more like on a company level as well in your local community. Using business networks and your contacts that you've got as well. So it's something that I personally did do, and I did do it very well. So I love talking about this one. It's quite easy, but sometimes we forget about the basics in how to grow your business. One thing that I do say to people when I first start training them, if they've got an established business already and that they want me to come in and help accelerate that growth, is what did you do when you first opened the doors? What did you do when you first started the business? And sometimes it's those strategies that were the tough ones, they were the blood, sweat and tears that they dropped first, because all of a sudden maybe their SEO, search engine optimization, their online presence has started to pick up and they drop these things out. But it's these things that we're going to cover today that aspire to be some of the most important things that you should be doing. So, and I didn't even own the business of the company I grew. So, but I just took this on because I did do it with my own businesses outside of real estate. So for anyone that doesn't know, I used to own fruit markets. I used to sell fruit and vegetables to a lot of the cafes, restaurants and mums and dads. And it was these strategies that I did that I also put in place as well. So, and look, congratulations to, I think it was Calvin, 100 doors in 6 months. That's awesome. That's really, really good. That's a lot of work. So congratulations on that. So well done. Okay, so let me just hook straight into this then. Okay, so what we need to be thinking about is who are the BDMs, so business development managers, that are working for your office. Now, who are the BDMs that are working for your office, but they actually don't work within your office? This is how we need to, be able to get our just get our brains thinking about it. So who's out in the world selling your services for you? So from a training point of view, for Darren and myself, everyone that listens to our training, everyone, listening in on this today, I would hope that, if you're speaking with another business owner, another realtor or real estate agent, and they're stuck on growth, that you would be screaming about us. Hey, you know, Dennis, Darren, Michael, not that you've met Michael yet, but, you know, the three amigos, you need to get in contact with them. You know, who has your name on the forefront of their minds when they're thinking about real estate? So whether you're at a barbecue, a wedding, real estate seems to be one of those subjects that comes up all the time. Whether, I used to go to barbecues, or you'd be in a coffee shop and someone would say, you know, oh, you're in real estate, Dennis, how's the market? You know, or whatever that question is. And then it's just about you turning that around and working out how to respond to that. You know, if I could just quickly ask, is that a question that, you know, people get? How's the market, or how's real estate going? You know, one of the things that I learned to say is what part of the real estate are you referring to? Sometimes they're just asking that question because creating conversation, but if it is just creating conversation, our job is to turn that into business. So I used to ask them, you know, what part of the market are you referring to? You know, and you know, is it sales? Are you looking to sell a house? Are you looking to buy a house? Or have you got a property that you can't find a tenant for? You know, so I would ask that question back at them. And if they said, oh, look, I was just creating conversation, great. Have your wine, have your beer, have your water, your soft drink, whatever it is that you're drinking, and move on and jump in. Or if they say, oh, look, I actually know somebody who, you know, their house is sitting vacant or they can't sell it, then you then refer that on, or you pick up the listing yourself and start selling the services. So you need to know who is the forefront of their minds. Are you the forefront of their minds? Who are the raving fans that, you know, want to sell you? You know, you need to have your raving fans. And, you know, I want to hopefully go through how we can create those raving fans, okay? So when real estate does come up, they're thinking of you. They're thinking of your agency. They are thinking of Key Renter. Okay, so we're going to cover who these people or companies can be for you, and how we can get us to be the go-to agent in your area. So you need to be on the forefront of everyone's mind. And you know, being part of the network that you are in, you know, you're also, you know, you've got access to agencies and a network, you know, around the United States. Okay, so, you know, you can think on the bigger picture. It's not just about your local area. And then we're going to learn how we can influence more businesses into our network and help grow networks in your entire business work at the same time. So if we were to look at the food chain, so now in retrospect, I'm going to be, you know, let's think about a real estate company that has got a sales division as well. Or if you don't have a sales division, you should be having, you know, sales only agents referring business to you. So most business comes the reactive way. Okay, whether they pick up the phone and they call you and you react to it, or someone refers the business to you and you act upon it as well. So we need to be more proactive in chasing that business and, you know, not relying on the phone to be calling you. So it's like, if that was the pyramid, is like if this was the food chain, we've got to be thinking about the real estate food chain. So we're told to eat, you know, less chocolate. I mean, I like chocolate. Who doesn't have a sweet tooth? So unfortunately, chocolate's at the top, which is the sweets, but I'd like it to be at the bottom. But, you know, that wouldn't be too healthy for me. But most businesses are growing through a reactive way, which is the more breads. Okay, so this is how we need to be thinking. We need to turn it around. So we want more business networks referring business to us. Okay, and your local area, wherever you've got your referral partners or your strategic alliances. So it's about being more proactive. So the suites is like our communities at the top, and most of the time that's where less business comes in, but we want to make more business coming in through our business networks, okay, which is at the bottom, okay? So we don't want to wait for the phone to ring to grow our business. We want to create that phone to ring. Okay, so who can be some raving fans? So this is a question I want to ask. So, you know, hopefully I'm hoping that people can type, like if you're in front of your computer, I'd like to know who can be raving fans or BDMs for your business outside of your office. I'm not sure if you're listening or not, Darren, or if you put your head on a pillow. Oh, we do have one there. So, Darren, are you able to watch the comments for me and just rattle some of them out for me?
No worries, that's fine. So Dan's answer is owners, and Aaron's got anyone can be vendors.
Yep.
Abby, referring agents.
Mm-hmm. So now what I want everyone to be thinking about is outside of the business. So exactly right on your, anyone can be vendors. So that's like our tradespeople, you know, your plumber, your electrician, your gardeners, lawn cleaners, etc.
Dusty, hi Dusty, investor groups, Dusty says.
Yep, investor groups is another good one. Yep. Your current owners, correct, as well.
And Greg says social networking friends.
Okay, who are the social? Oh, okay, so that's correct. So your barbecues, your weddings, your people of influence that you know you've got around your own personal life. So well done. There's lots more. There's some key ones that we're missing. I'm just trying to get everyone's brains thinking.
Dan networking groups. Greg, no next door. Hang on, we got next door, Facebook, etc.
Yep. Yeah, so the networking groups is a good one. Can I have some examples of some networking groups? Who? We're getting there. We're covering some good stuff here, which is really good.
And Ed says fellow church members.
Yep. Perfect.
Brandon says personal friends.
Yep. Well done. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to pop them up now. So well done, everyone. That's really good. So we want them to be absolutely massive raving fans. Okay, so who are you currently dealing with that can refer business to you? So your company, your business right now, no doubt is doing business with other people. Okay, whether it's the person that is doing your for rent for sale signs, your own cleaner, the cleaners that you use, the vendors that you use for your businesses, anyone, the person who does the key cutting for you, okay? When you have to arrange for key cuts, your photographer that works in your own business. Now, what about other local businesses that you might go to? Okay, let's not forget about the coffee shop. I'm going to say coffee shop or the cafe because I drink a lot of coffee. The restaurants that you go to, the hairdressers that you go to, there's so many businesses in your local sector, whether you've got a local group of shops that you're dealing with, restaurants I've already said. So let's not forget about the physical buildings of businesses that are around us as well. So who is speaking with potential landlords before they even call a sales agent? So, we may rely on a salesperson that's selling the home to say, hey, Darren, this person has purchased an investment property, give them a call. But who is speaking with those people, the sales agent, before they buy? Who are they dealing with? So if I can get people typing again, okay, who is dealing with somebody before they actually call a real estate office and say, I want to buy a house? So there's a whole pile of work that needs to occur. Okay, I can see that someone's typed something. So
Dusty's got lenders.
Lenders, well done, Dusty.
Dan has got contractors.
Contractors.
Brandon, yep. Insurance agent. Abby, title agents.
Title agents, yep. Perfect. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So, okay, the lenders. So how do I know if I can afford to get a loan? Who do I have to deal with before I have to go to a mortgage broker or a bank? Is there's another business that you've got to go to, or what papers do we have to put together? I'm waiting for the flash so I know someone else has typed something. It pops up and flashes, but I just can't see what it says unless I click on it. Okay, I'm going to scream it out for you. What about the accountants? Well, someone did type.
Brandon says tax preparer.
Tax preparer, well done. Okay, you got to get your tax in line so you can obviously then go to the mortgage broker and say this is evidence of how much money we're earning, etc. So well done. That's cool. So there's businesses that are involved with the process of real estate before they even call and potentially buy someone. So here we go. Mortgage brokers, bank managers, financial advisors, stockbrokers. Let's not forget about stockbrokers. A lot of people tend to forget about them. A very good stockbroker will advise their clients to buy into property as well. Tradespeople, vendors, painters, plumbers, fencers, etc. Interior designers are very good as well. Flooring experts, etc. So, you know, we have lawyers, we have settlement agents in Australia. I'm sure that, you know, you've got those land title, I think someone did say, so that's along the lines of what we're dealing with. Now, Darren, if you can remind me to talk about settlement agents later before I finish this one off, because I'd like to tell everyone a great way that you can use all of these people and settlement agents to build the network. Actually, I'll just do it now. So I was training an office in Queensland a couple of years ago, and I'd love to say this was my idea, but it's not. So the BDM that I was training had purchased an investment property, and she went with her husband to the property, and they're going to do some work on it over the weekend. And they checked the mailbox, the letterbox, and there was a introductory card saying, you know, welcome, congratulations on purchasing your property. You know, as a gesture of our thanks, please come to our shop and you'll get 20% off paint. I think it was a 20% voucher to a store to get paint. So if they were going to do some paint works. Anyway, they were. So she went to the shop and she said, hey, to the hardware store, and said, how did you get my details? Like, thank you for this, you know, to buy the paint. And the company had a deal with the settlement agent. So whenever someone had purchased a new property in the area, they would welcome them to the area by sending them a card saying welcome, and the settlement agent and the hardware store put a deal. They work together, and then they would send them a letter. So, you know, is that something that you could be doing, settlement agents, you know, and then welcome them to the area? And the good thing about that is you don't only just send it to people who purchase through your business or your sales agents that you may be dealing with, but you're now getting access to everyone, because, you know, obviously in Australia, and I'm sure it's the same, they would have stats and information when new properties buy and sell in the area. So it was a great way of doing it. And now that's now part of the BNI groups that they do send, there's a conglomerate of businesses that send thank you letters to anyone that's moving into the area. It's a great opportunity, especially if it's somebody new moving into the area and they don't know anyone, and then you're introducing them to your preferred, you know, inner circle of business owners, should we say. Okay, so network meetings. So it's great that we're building some relationships with them, but it's now important that we want to continue to meet with them. So, you know, your job is to arrange regular meetings with your raving fans. You know, continually touch them, continually remind them that, you know, that you're wanting to grow your business and you want to get more business. So if anyone has referred business to you in the past, you should be, you know, ringing them every now and then, dependent on the situation, at least twice a year. Okay, so, you know, if someone's written you a Google review, as an example, you should be ringing them and thanking them. Not only reply on the Google review, because that's what you should be doing as well, but you should be ringing them up and thanking them. Okay, so you know, have meetings outside of your office. Don't just invite them into your office. Go into the local community. Okay, we'll touch on using social media for that in a second. You know, go meet them at their business as well, by getting into the community. And you know, your job, as much as we've got your, you know, your franchise name that you want to be pushing, but in your local community, your face is your business as well. Your smile is your business as well. So you've got to brand yourself within your local area. Okay, so don't use the same meeting place at each time. It's about breaking it up and getting into I'm from a small country town. I'm actually, would you believe, right now I'm in my old country town where I did grow the rent roll. I did go in there the other day, and I took a photo, put it up onto social media. I was really happy to go into my old stomping ground. I now live in Brisbane, but I'm in Nowra, right? And there's only, I think there's about 28 to 30,000 people that live in this town now. So I'm from a small community, and I tended to go into the same coffee shop all the time. Okay, so I had to learn to switch it up. So mix it up, meet your raving fans office or in their favourite coffee shop. Don't just take them to your own. And then it's about learning about what they like, and it's also getting in front of their people, okay? Because when you're associated with them, their local friends and their group of inner circles then recognise you as that preferred person that they want to be using. So then it's about using social media when you're out in the community and promote that you're doing network training and meetings. You know, tag, check in, photos, share, promote. And I'll show you how Darren and I do this, as well as, and I've got some example photos to show you, and then you've got to replicate that for yourself. So it's super important to get out there and show the local community that you are out there. And I'm not just talking about turning up to sporting events that you may be sponsoring, because that's a great thing, or being at a fete or an information night, whatever. It's the community things. And then using LinkedIn, Facebook. I need to take Google Plus out, Darren. I need to update this because Google Plus is dead. It's just Google now. But then you've got Instagram, etc. as well. So in Australia, we've got an app. So we have the post office. So everything's becoming electronic now, and there are apps where you can upload into them, and they will mail it out for you. So if you're gonna, you know, what I'm talking about here is you're having a meeting, take a photo at that meeting. So if anyone is friends or they follow Darren and myself or Michael on social media, they will see that we take photos of, at a restaurant, at a coffee shop, or whether it's a photo of us or if it's a photo of the coffee or the meal, whatever it is, we're always posting it on social media. We're promoting that we're having a business meeting or whatever the case. Make sure that you always tag the company or the place that you are at. It's super important. This is especially on Instagram as well. People forget about it on Instagram. You know, it's about building your online presence in your local community. Tag the company and then thank them for the experience that you had at that place. Yeah, okay. And then advise that them, when you're in the said premises, you might be in the coffee shop, you go up to the business owner and say, "Hi, Aaron, just want to let you know, we had an amazing business meeting here. Thank you. Darren Hunter, he was the guy that served us. He was great. Really appreciate it. We're that happy. We posted it on social media as well." Okay. Then what you do is you can actually upload that photo into an app, which is the Postcards app. In the background image, you can see there that it's Australian dollars. It'll post it for $2, right? And then what happens, that particular photo actually gets posted to the business owner as well, and you can put a friendly message. Because what then happens, if a business receives a postcard from you, they will put it up in an area and they're proud that, hey, look, someone sent us a card. And you can, there's so many apps these days, you can actually get your branding on the photos as well, or you can drop it into Canva. You use Canva, don't you, Darren? For a great deal of things.
Yes, I do.
Canva is a great app. So that's then the business owner is getting an online touch from you. They're getting a physical touch as well, which is super important. Okay, so check in and expand your online growth. So that's the card there. I did have it in the background on the last slide, but it does do it internationally as well. So this is a lot of things that you'll see myself and Darren do. We take photos of ourselves on an aeroplane. The picture on the right is myself and Darren. The one on the left on my own. And as you can see, that's my two kids in the middle that I'm sitting with, and they hate airplanes. They despise them now. They get on an airplane on their own. That photo was only 2 years ago, and they weren't too impressed to be on the airplane. Now they absolutely love it. Now, we actually have what we call the hashtag that we've created called IGT Got a Looker. So, and a lot of our American friends have jumped in on this. So it's about creating, if you can see that gentleman in the background, he's not too impressed that I've taken a selfie, but I've captured him there. That was a business meeting that I had there with a couple of other agents. And that lady with the rainbow beanie, this was the very first photo that I captured of having someone photobombing me. And at the end of the flight, it was only a 1 hour flight, my social media went nuts. It went crazy. And as we were walking off the plane, I actually thanked her. I said, look, I really appreciate that you photobombed my photo. Because what that does is it creates a lot of activity on social media, which was branding the business. And she thought I was some movie star. I said, no, I'm not a movie star, but I feel like it now. So it's something that's happened and we've followed, and we've started to do it, and it continues to happen. Darren and I...
Dennis, I'll add in with that. We know there's a lot of buzz and people talk about that no matter where we go. And even social media experts get up and say what a great tag it is to use that just gets attention.
Yep.
I even had someone at church a couple of days ago come up and say, hey, look, love your IGT, got a looker. And it's just something that works well for us and just gets people talking.
Yeah, it does. It's created its own following. So, and you could do this in your area. So one of the agencies that we train is Sally from Tasmania, which is the little island at the bottom of Australia. And what we did for her, I started a new hashtag for her, a day with Sally, hashtag a day with Sally, because she jumped back into the trenches. Being a business owner, sometimes you don't get out there and do routine inspections or, your outgoing reports, bond settlements, or in your case, it's the, what's it called? Not a security bond. They do checks and stuff or get ready reports. So she was doing that back in the trenches. So she did, 15-second videos, and we put together a snippet. We posted her on social media. So that's something that she's going to be doing from now on. So, and Darren, if we can add, people are doing it in restaurants, on buses. They're doing it everywhere, and they love doing it. And one of our most famous ones is hashtag Where's Darren? That was a good one as well. And people come up to me and say, can we get a photo and post it online? Because Darren's not here. So they love it. And that's to your expense, Darren, of course. Now, on the right-hand side, if you don't know what an affogato is, that is what an affogato is. It's ice cream. It's a small shot of alcohol and coffee, and it's potentially, if not, it is my favourite dessert. It's a sweet dessert, and what a lot of people, they know that it's something that I like, and I get tagged, so they'll tag the business in when they take photos of them having one. So it used to be, can we have one with you now, Dennis? But it turns into the, hey, Dennis, we're having one on you, etc. Okay? So now everyone needs to be part of, we're talking about all of these business networks that we potentially should be mixing with, but you need to actually get involved with them as well. So, I've just brought up an example of this, the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. Is anyone here from San Antonio? I'd love to know if there is. But the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce is one, the Chamber of Commerce in your local area, and then you've got your B&I groups as well, your Business Networking Internationals. Now, B&I is a global company. So they're examples of areas where where you can connect with other business owners. So B&I chapters, who do they connect with? I'm not sure if it's all the same people that we said that we need to get them to be raving fans for us, okay? If that's the same list there. You need to be networking with all of those people. And those people, when they, the reason why they attend a B&I network is because they want to grow their businesses. So why wouldn't you be hanging around people that want to expand and grow their business? It's like, surrounding yourself with people that are going to push you, that are going to motivate you, that are going to drive you. All of those people are coming together because they want to grow. If a new accountant starts in your area, or a mortgage broker, or a bank manager, etc., their job is to get in front of as many people as they can. Well, you want to be contacting those people, because they're going to be hungry to want to network with you. So the good thing about a BNI chapter is one person from each industry only is allowed to go. So if you do get involved with a BNI group, then you'll be the only property manager expert that's allowed in there. I'd love to know if anyone here listening in this morning is part of a BNI group. If I can get some, you can just keep an eye on that one for me. Is anyone part of a BNI group or a chamber of commerce in your local area? I'd love to know if we've got anyone that's part of one. I'm just going to click on that so I can get rid of that orange bit. Okay, if anyone is part of it, that'd be awesome. I'd love to know. Okay, so there's one person from each industry, and the idea is they refer business to each other, and there's no monitoring, no money involved in a process. So it's just paper referral. So you might, if someone refers business to you, then you document, hey, if you're earning, let's say, hypothetically, you're earning $1,000 annually on a property, then they'll, congratulate and say, hey, Darren referred business, which will generate roughly $1,000. So congratulations, Darren. Okay, so it's they actually, do jump in. So it's like-minded people wanting to grow their businesses. And depending on the meetings, most BNI groups that I know, they do meet weekly. Okay, it's once per week, and most of them are done early in the mornings before your standard, business trading hours. And what they do is they actually teach you how to have an elevator speech. So they actually help train you about real estate, how to pitch, in a short period of time. So I call it an elevator speech because when you're in an elevator, you've only got a few seconds to catch someone's attention. I was in an elevator in Sydney only last week, and I was in my casual clothes, and I had a gentleman get into the lift with a suit on. And if anyone's ever been in a lift with me, like Darren, I talk to people. I'm that person that talks to everyone. It's interesting. Everyone jumps into a lift and they stand to the back of the lift and they look up and they look at the numbers, and they just sit in silence waiting for that lift, because we're in a little zone and people don't like being spoken to these days. So my job is to influence as many people as I can, and I'll talk to them. This guy jumps into the lift and he was in a suit. I said, hey, you got a busy day ahead? And he's like, yep. So he was feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And I said, what do you do? And he actually said to me, I've got his business card. He actually said he's going to speak at a conference about, I can't even think. My mind's gone blank because it's too early in the morning. And I said, oh, that's interesting. That's, so you're coaching them how to be reputable. And he said, yep. And I said, excellent. And he straight away, he just asked back, what do you do? And I said, my job is to help people expand their businesses through growth on social media. But I, mostly speak with real estate agents, et cetera, et cetera. So for you, you're not just a real estate agent. Your job is maximizing wealth for people through property, whether it's helping, preparing your home for rent or for sale, etc. Don't just say I'm a real estate agent. So your job, have that elevator speech ready, and BNI does do that. So BNI chapters, so meet outside of the standard meeting time. So if you are, nobody said that they're part of it. So that is interesting. I'm not telling you to jump on there and you have to do it because it's going to work for you, but at least dabble it and give it a go. We've got a couple of people that are typing in there now. I did go to BNI meetings myself. I used to go as a guest with one of the other staff, the sales agents in our office, and I used to go when they couldn't go, but I at least went once a month as a minimum, or I'd try and get there every 2 weeks. So somebody has said something. If you can check that for me, Darren, that'd be great. But so the idea is to meet outside. I know I said this earlier, but you need to meet outside the standard time. So when you're at a BNI group, let's say you've got 20 members, you should have 20 network meetings at least 3 times a year. Okay, go
So,
into their business.
So we've got Bill, Chamber of Commerce, and Pro Group. It's similar to BNI.
Yep.
Wade from Jacksonville, BNI, Dan's with an alternative business networking group. Ed has added, I left BNI after 3 months. Time commitment versus the number of leads wasn't favorable. So Ed felt that the return wasn't there at the time.
Yep. So Ed, I'd love to encourage you that if you've still got all of those business cards, because hopefully you did collect their business details, keep building on those, the networks that you've got there. So getting back to meeting outside of the standard meeting time. So if Darren and Aaron and Dan and Ed, if you're all in different industries and you're part of my BNI, I would go into your business and I would meet the rest of your staff and your company and all of your people. I would take cupcakes, morning tea, afternoon tea, biscuits, whatever it is, and I'd have a meeting with everyone and introduce myself to everyone, and get them to be raving fans as well, and find out a little bit about them. Invite them to come into your business and meet your staff as well. Okay?
Dennis, is that called the Krispy Kreme or the donut?
Yes.
The donut strategy.
Yes, the Krispy Kreme strategy, and oh my goodness, Krispy Kreme donuts, they are so good. Little tip for you: put them in the microwave for about 15 seconds before you have them, so you heat them up. They're gorgeous. I should be 10 times the size of what I am, Darren, in the amount of sweet foods that I have. So invite them to your business as well. So I do recommend go and see if there is a chapter in your area. Simply go to their website. Find your city, town, suburbs, and a chapter, and have a look at it. And you know what? If there's none, create your own. Ed, I'd recommend still networking with as many people as you can, and just create your own BNI chapter. Get other businesses that are interested in growing, and meet once every couple of weeks as a minimum if you can. Create that network of people that you want to be doing it. BNI is just an example, and same with the Chamber of Commerce. They're just examples of what you can do. So the good thing about a Chamber of Commerce, it's business owners again that are coming together, okay, and they're discussing the future development of your area. So it's a bit of a no-brainer for myself to go to the local chamber. In Yarra, the town that I'm in at the moment, it was for free. I have heard that some Chamber of Commerces, they do charge for meetings, and that's obviously indicative of hiring a facility to have the people to come to it. Or they might have certain systems in place for newsletters, articles, etc. that they do. Everything's electronic now, but you've still got to pay for someone to do it. But it was our local council that ran it, so it was really good. So they didn't have a charge, and they just used to use the local town hall. Then, who you got to think about who are going to it. Every business owner in your area is an influencer of their pocket of people. Okay, so for example, if you've got somebody that owns a childcare centre, then those people are influencers to all the young mums in the area. Okay, so hairdressers and the beauty salons, etc. Then you've got they've got their own influence as well. So you want to be getting into as many as you can. And the local chamber, all business owners, they go to them because they're interested in knowing what's happening in your town, city, or area. Again, it's like-minded business owners that are coming together, and the meetings do vary according to your local area, like a chapter, a BNI. So social media has got its own local business networks as well. And, if you're not on Facebook, you need to get into your local community through, Facebook. Darren is a wonderful person that thought that Facebook wasn't for business, and now he's a global trainer in it, aren't you, Darren? So, Darren and I, we do a lot of our business through social media. Now, as a real estate agent myself, I used to be part of the Shoalhaven Business Feedback Forum, and I'm going to share and show you a couple of examples of some slides of myself being asked questions in there. So there's a lot of business network groups that you can do. There's the Sunshine Coast Business Network, in Australia. We've got the Brisbane Network Group. There's also the Melbourne one, which is Melbourne, Florida, that I've seen, and I'll show you a picture of that as well. And again, it's business owners, like-minded people that are coming together through social media, people that are interested in knowing what business to use or be part of. So, for example, the Shoalhaven Business Feedback Forum, people would ask, I'm thinking about going to a restaurant. Has anyone been to any nice restaurants, or want to have a birthday party? Or they're asking questions about who should I give my property to, or I'm having problems with my agent. You know, and so they're asking for advice through these groups, buy, swap, and sell groups as well. So meetings are online, and all the discussions are there in front of you. You know, and if somebody is coming against your business and you're part of it, at least you've got the opportunity to jump in there and defend yourself. Okay, so Facebook business networking groups. Here's a couple of examples there, and Darren, I'll upload the slides. Aaron, I'll upload these slides for everyone so you've got a copy of them and you can have a look at these groups. But as I zoom in forward to have a look at them, that, you know, they're just some examples. But jump into Facebook, do a search on your local area, and just punch in business. I did it for a presentation the other day. We've got someone who just typed something in, but you know, I challenge you all to jump in and have a search in your local area for a business group. Okay, so there's the one that I was part of. It's just there, Shoalhaven. That's the Shoalhaven and Outer Suburbs Business Feedback Group. That was a new one that had opened up. Okay, so this was a question that somebody had asked. Just wanted some feedback on what people thought of Rain and Horn Real Estate in Nowra, both from owners who rent their property through them, as well as people renting from them. Okay, so they wanted to know both. And what had happened, people started tagging, and they were tagging me in the posts, because when someone was in there asking a question about real estate, I was always jumping in there and helping and giving advice. Okay, so then I became recognised in the local area as that go-to person. So as you can see,
Dennis, you need to, I think it needs to be added as well that Rain and Horn was your competitor, correct?
They were my competitor.
Yeah, you were getting tagged into it because you're well known in the group.
Yes, so I was getting, and as you can see, look, there's some people in there that were asking, and yeah, I did get tagged into the group and got the listing. So, you know, basically what had happened is I'd actually helped a person, Darren, that was having problems with their agent, their owner, wasn't fixing the air conditioning system. And they jumped into the group and said, look, my owner, they're not fixing my air conditioner. What are my rights, et cetera, et cetera. And I kept on getting tagged in the post. I didn't know all the legislation, you know, because my job was a BDM, hunting and killing for the business, right, to get that listing. So I would ring the office and I'd say, hey, Nicole, what's the legislation on this? So then I'd jump in there and I'd give my opinion. And I had an owner ring me up and they said, hi, my name is, and I just wanted to, advise that you actually helped my tenant move out of I had my tenant recently move out of my property because of you. And I went, oh no. And I said, you know, I'd worked out it was the owner of the property wasn't doing the maintenance on the air conditioner to fix it because the tenant wasn't paying the rent. So that's, the owner thought that, oh, well, I'm not going to fix the property if they're not paying the rent. And, you know, legally, the owner still has to fix the property if there's still a tenant in there. So I ended up getting that management. So I picked up that door because they were so impressed with that I knew the legislation. I didn't know the legislation, as I said, it was Nicole. Now, this is a screenshot of my Facebook here. And, you know, you've got the little store down the bottom, so where you've got your groups. Now, I just wanted to quickly share with you that you could have some potential tenants that may be trying to rent out a room or whatever the case, but have a go to the store that you've got in there on Facebook. Facebook has come out and said that they are going to be picking on real estate in the next couple of years. So they're interested in, they're going to be helping people rent properties on here or sell a property. And what you can do is you click on the store, and you up the top in the middle photo, you've got the house, and then you can choose a radius of the area, so you can keep an eye on people that have got property there. Okay, so some companies have open referrals or incentives. Now be careful, please. Third-party incentives, I don't know if you're allowed to have a third-party incentive for people to refer business to you. You may have to donate to a charity of the person's but please, make sure you check that. So you may, to get the people to have the forefront of their minds, some people like to be influenced through some form of a benefit, which is a referral. So if I said to Darren, hey Darren, do you know anyone that needs to grow their rent roll? Darren might say, but if Darren knows he's going to get a $50 voucher somewhere, or if I offer that to him, then it makes it that it's the forefront. But obviously, please check and ensure that you're allowed to do it. So calling current clients is obviously, and offering them incentive is obviously something great. The plumber, the tradesperson in our business, what we did is we offered tradespeople in our local area. It was a $200. I can't think. Not a credit card. What are they called? Gift card. What are the cards called, Darren? When you got a
gift card.
Your $200 gift card, but it's a debit credit card thing.
Okay, it's like a okay. So a debit Visa.
A debit Visa, that's right. It was a $200 debit Visa card that so they could use it in any local business that they liked. And the plumber had actually referred business to me, and he didn't want the $200 card because he knew if he went home, that $200 card, his wife was going to spend it on shopping. So he said, Dennis, keep the card. What I'd like you to do is go buy me 2 cases of beer. So, because it was easier for me to go get the 2 cases of beer and give it to him and then take the card home. So it was, what's the incentive for one person is different for another person. But, calling your current clients, offering them, to go into a draw to win, or that you'll donate to a local charity of their choice, or to their school or to their sporting event, whatever the case is, and calling them and offering them an incentive. Just doing a customer service call to your owners. You should be calling them for no reason, minimum twice a year anyway, or put systems in place to get some stuff done. And we did cover that in one of my last sessions where, I recommended that you should be handwriting to them or giving them a call. So how can we help grow your community and network through business incentives? Okay, so walk into your local networks and ask them to be part of your business growth drive or your promotion. So if there's a small conglomerate of shops that you may have, go into them and say, look, I don't want to offer a debit Visa card. I'd like to offer a voucher from your shop. So basically what we're saying here is you've got your local shops, you're going into the business owner and say, look, hi, my name is Dennis. I'm the local realtor in the area, and I just would like permission to offer your business as, I'd like to give a $50 voucher away to anyone that refers business to me, and I'd like it to be from your company. Of course, they're going to say yes, and you do that in your local shop. And you say to the owner, look, if any of your staff do offer a referral to our company, we do list it, they too will receive. Okay, so I did do this with a business, a lady by the name of Olivia in Adelaide, Darren, in your area, in your city, and she actually had her hairdresser in her local area shop did refer some business to her. So I said, that's fantastic, that's great. Now what I'd like you to do is I want you to print out a certificate of appreciation, put it in a frame, and go and hand it to them so that all her clients can see that she is the preferred agent of choice, and there's a certificate of appreciation for the business networks that they're part of. I double dog dared her to take a hammer and a hook and go in there and put it up in the waiting area where her clients would be. So it didn't just get put on a bookshelf in the back office. Anyway, she rings me up later in the day. She said, Dennis, I did it, and I took the hammer in as well. And when I went up to put it up, I chipped the concrete wall by putting it up. The thing is, she did it. You know, they all had a laugh about it. It did eventually get up. So ask them if they're okay for you to give a voucher away from the business at no cost to them. Okay, they may even want to meet you halfway. If you give $50, they may only charge you $25, whatever the case, because you're going to be branding them through your newsletters, etc. as well. So you're promoting their business, okay? And obviously that's something that you put on social media as well, okay? Offer a referring client a choice of local businesses instead of just doing it and giving it to them. So I just spoke about the hair salons, how they can grow rent rolls or you get more doors. And hand out that certificate of appreciation in a frame. Small business communities or shopping malls, they are fantastic for this stuff. An agency I train in Perth, Darren, they got a story in the local paper that because, you know, it was a heading of local real estate agent bringing small business together. It was a happy story. So they were really excited that, you know, small businesses were coming together. So, you know, contact your local newspaper and share the news of businesses coming together as well, you know, and promote your network and business clients on Facebook as well. So, you know, a great way of doing this, I won't press play because it, but I will explain it and you'll be able to get the video of this. What this is, that's Olivia there that I was just talking about. She was out the front of one of the rental properties and she got her local gardener to do a video. She just used her phone. I double dog dared her again. And one thing about this story that I like is every time I double dog dared Olivia to do something, she did it and she got business from it. So this was her gardener, and she just asked him a simple question about, you know, how can, you know, any tips on helping tenants with regards to their lawns and gardens during the tenancy. He gave his tips. She posted that on the social media, tagged his business in it. Now, what was really cool is the gentleman's family, his daughters, his kids and friends, they shared the video because they couldn't believe that he got onto social media. She picked up 2 managements from this. Then she had other vendors calling and saying, hey, can you come and do a video on me as well? So then she became that local area expert in her local community for giving tips and advice. And then it gets shared out there, which was great. So she became that local expert. And as you know, Darren, you know, she grew her rent roll from 6 to 260 in a couple of years. And she did really well in, you know, and she was a mum. She used to carry her one of her newborn children on her hip, and she cooked muffins and went to the local businesses as well, introducing herself. So she did a great job of that. Has anyone got any questions? Someone's typed something in there. I can click on it now because I don't have to look at the slides as much.
Yeah, no, we've had no new comments.
It's just for me because I hadn't clicked on it.
No, that's fine. Good session, and yeah, for everybody out there, as you can see, with certainly the training that Dennis has done, you can put a person on full time to be out chasing this business. Have a sales type person just chasing this sort of business full time. Once you know what strategies and how to keep them busy. Gail says, great presentation, Dennis. Thank you.
No problem. If I can just quickly add, we do have our own group as well of, you know, similar to what I did for the Chalet Feedback Business Forum. I decided to open a group just over 5 years ago where I help realtors around the globe. So you're all welcome to join it. I'm fairly certain we have invited you to it before. If you go to our Inspired Growth Training Facebook page, just click, obviously like the page, and then you'll see a button that says join group. Simply answer the question so we know who you are because of your privacy settings we can't see. And we network with people in there, and people often ask for help and advice in that group as well. So, yeah, so thank you. I appreciate that everyone's enjoyed it. Megan as well, thank you, and Dan.
And so I just want to say a big thank you to Aaron and of course, everyone from Key Renter. We've really appreciated the time that we've had with you. This today is our last formal session with you. And please feel free to get in contact with us My email, darren@inspiredgrowthtraining.com, and of course Dennis, DENIZ @inspiredgrowthtraining.com. If you have any questions or just get in contact with us on Facebook, get into our Facebook group, IGT Inner Circle. Be part of that, and we've got a lot of other people there that want to grow. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you, Aaron, for having us.
Thank
and
you, Darren
over to
and
you.
Dennis. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can go to bed, get a couple more hours of sleep.
Might get some more work done, I think.
Our phone won't ring. There's no distractions this time.
Correct. No